Chapter 1: The Crash. The storm raged like a living thing, howling through the skeletal remains of the derelict spaceship Iron Gale. Lightning split the sky, casting jagged shadows across the torn metal hull. I pulled my tattered coat tighter, cursing my luck. Of all the places to crash land, I was just a scavenger, picking through the ruins of dead colonies for salvage. But my ship's failing thrusters had given out mid-atmo, sending me spiraling into this graveyard of forgotten vessels. Now I was stranded on a planet so far from civilized space that no rescue would ever come. I trudged through the wreckage, my boots sinking into the mud. The Iron Gale was ancient, pre-Federation, judging by the rusted insignia. Most of its corridors were collapsed, but something deep inside still hummed with power. A faint glow pulsed from beneath a pile of debris. That's when I heard it, a low, guttural growl. My hand flew to my plasma cutter, but before I could draw it, the wreckage exploded outward. A massive figure lunged at me, slamming me into the ground. Claws dug into my shoulders, and hot breath washed over my face. Then, the growling stopped. Golden eyes, slit like a cat's, stared down at me. A beastwoman, half human, half something else, pinned me beneath her. Her body was covered in sleek, dark fur, her ears twitching at every sound. A tattered uniform clung to her frame, the insignia matching the wreckage around us. She sniffed me once, then tilted her head. "You are not one of them." Her voice was rough and used, but unmistakably alive. Chapter 2: The Pact. Her name was Vera. She had been in stasis for decades, maybe centuries, locked inside a cryopod deep within the Iron Gale. The ship's AI had kept her alive, but something had gone wrong. The pod had malfunctioned, altering her DNA, twisting her into this form. And she was the last of her crew. I sat across from her in the flickering light of my portable heater, watching as she tore into a ration pack with sharp teeth. She ate like she hadn't seen food in years. "Why save me?" asked. She paused, her ears flattening. "You are the first living thing I've seen in a long time." Her claws flexed. "And I do not want to be alone anymore." I swallowed. She could have killed me. Instead, she dragged me out of the storm, patched up my injuries. "I need to get off this planet," I said. "My ship's wrecked, but if we can scavenge parts from the Iron Gale." Vera's tail flicked. "I know this ship. I can help." "And then what?" She looked at me, her golden eyes unblinking. "Then I stay with you." It wasn't a request. It was a vow. Chapter 3: The Escape. The Iron Gale was a death trap. Every corridor groaned under its own weight. Every shadow hid malfunctioning drones, remnants of the ship's security systems. But Vera moved like a ghost, her enhanced senses warning us of danger before it struck. We fought our way to the engine bay, where a half-functional warp core still pulsed. If I could jury-rig it into my ship's skeleton. "Hurry," Vera growled, her ears twitching. "They're coming." "Whose?" Then I heard it. The skittering of metal limbs. The things that had killed her crew. Autonomous hunter drones, programmed to eliminate all life. We worked frantically, sparks flying as I fused the core into my ship's systems. The drones breached the bay, their red optics locking onto us. Vera roared, leaping into them. Claws met steel, her body a blur of motion. She fought like a demon, but there were too many. "Now!" she screamed. I hit the ignition. The ship shuddered, then lurched upward, tearing free of the wreckage. Vera barely made it inside before the bay doors sealed shut. As we broke Atmo, I looked back at the planet, and the Iron Gale now collapsing into the storm. Vera slumped against the wall, bleeding but alive. You're stuck with me now, I said. She bared her teeth in something like a smile. Good. Epilogue, a new journey. Weeks later, drifting through the void, I watched Vera at the ship's viewport. Her reflection stared back, beastly yet undeniably her. She had sworn to stay by my side. And for the first time in years I wasn't alone. Maybe that was enough. Where to next? She asked. I grinned. Wherever the stars take us. And as the ship jumped to warp, her claws brushed against my hand. A silent promise. The final jump. The warp core hummed dangerously as we hurtled through the void. The last dregs of the Iron Gale's stolen energy pushing us toward the nearest civilized system. Alerts blinked across the dashboard. Fuel reserves critical, hull integrity at 43%, life support barely holding. Vera sat coiled in the co-pilot's seat, her ears flicking at every creak of the ship. Her wounds had closed, but the scars remained, thick silver lines cutting through her dark fur. We're not gonna make it, I muttered, watching the fuel gauge dip into the red. She didn't answer at first. Then, slowly, she reached out and keyed in a sequence I didn't recognize. The ship's ancient NAV computer word, and a new trajectory flashed on screen. A derelict fueling station, marked as abandoned in faded Federation script. There, she said. We can last until then. I frowned. How do you know about this place? Her golden eyes darkened. Because it's where my crew was supposed to go before the gale fell. Ghosts of the past. The station was a corpse, drifting in dead orbit around a dying star. Its docking clamps groaned as we latched on, the air inside thick with dust and silence. Vera moved like a shadow, her claws unsheathed. She remembered this place. We found the fuel reserves, but something else waited for us too. Logs. Old transmission records. She played them. A voice crackling with static. Mayday, mayday. Iron Gale has been compromised. The drones, they're not just killing us. They're changing us. If anyone finds this, don't trust the ones with golden eyes. The recording cut off. Vera stood frozen, her breath ragged. I looked at her. Is that why you saved me? Her claws dug into the console. I don't know what I was before the pod changed me. But I know what I am now. She turned to me, her voice raw. And I chose you. Choice. The station shuddered. The drones, her drones, had followed us. They spilled from the vents, their red optics locking onto us with mechanical hunger. Vera bared her teeth. Go. Get to the ship. I'm not leaving you. He shoved me back. You have to. Then softer. This is what I was made for. I wanted to argue. Fight. But the look in her eyes, final, certain, stopped me. Ran. The last thing I saw before the docking bay doors sealed was Vera lunging into the swarm, her roar shaking the station's bones. Alone again, but not really. I barely made the jump to warp. The station exploded behind me, a brief sun in the endless dark. I sat in the silence of the cockpit, gripping the controls until my knuckles turned white. A thud from the cargo hold. I grabbed my cutter, heart pounding, and crept back. The storage crate was moving. I kicked it open. And Vera tumbled out, bleeding, half-conscious but alive. She grinned up at me, fangs glinting. Told you I'd stay. I didn't know whether to laugh or strangle her. So I did both, pulling her into a crushing hug. She stiffened at first, then relaxed, her claws gently pressing into my back. Idiot, I muttered. Her tail flicked against my leg. Yours. Epilogue, the beast and the stars. We drifted. The ship was patched, fueled. The drones were gone. Vera sat at the viewport again, watching the stars streak by. I joined her. "Where now?" she asked. I didn't answer. Instead, I reached into my coat and pulled out the old NAV log, the one from the station. On it, a single coordinate blinked. Colony. Home. Vera's ears pricked. "You're sure?" I took her clawed hand in mine. "Yeah." And as the ship turned toward the unknown, she leaned against me. "Not a beast, not a weapon. Just Vera. Just mine."